All right, hello and welcome to this episode of Superior Angling. We are here on Lake Superior on a gorgeous May day, light winds, sunny skies, and high hopes of putting some lake trout in the boat. On today's episode, we're going to kind of show you how we tackle lake trout via trolling on our Lund 2175 Pro V. So we have rod trees, downriggers. We're going to show you our Garmin Livescope, our kicker motor, kind of how we set up and tackle trolling on Lake Superior for lake trout. Now I envision us fishing in that 50 to 100 foot depths, so we'll tell you how to kind of get baits down in the water column. Yes, downriggers are effective, but lead core and snap weights are also effective. We'll kind of go over all these tools and tricks to help you guys catch more fish and show you how we go about trolling for Lake Superior lake trout. Stick with us, it's going to be a good one. All right, so in terms of trolling rods, we use the St. Croix Icon trolling series. Great rod. The 8'6" is kind of my planer board and long line rods, and the 7'6" is my downrigger rod. That 7'6" is going to be a little bit more whippy. It's going to be a little bit more, more of a challenge, more fun if you do hook up a big fish. I just like a little bit more of a flimsy rod for my downriggers. But the 8'6", I mean, this rod can handle, your bigger size planer boards, heavy snap weights, lead core. Like this 8'6" Icon trolling rod is, my favorite all-around rod, whether I'm walleye fishing, trout fishing, salmon fishing. Like this 8'6" can really do it all. So that's what we use on all our planer boards and longline rods, and the 7'6" are on our downriggers. Let's grab some spoons, get these downriggers down there, and planer boards out, and hopefully see some lake trout. All right, here we go, spoons. If I'm trolling, specifically for lake trout, you can't go wrong with the spoon. Yes, around Duluth in the springtime, or the Apostle Islands in the fall, you get some brown trout and salmon mixed in. Then I'll run some stick baits. But if I'm specifically fishing lake trout, 100% of the time, I'm running spoons. You can never go wrong with white, 4.5, 5.5 inch spoons. They're not too particular on color. Bright colors are always good. So, something big, flashy, just a variety of spoons. It's more so just getting it in front of them at the right depth and the right speed versus color. So we're going to hook some of these on there and hopefully have a trout bite it. All right, so as we get our first planer board out there, we're going to put it in our rod tree here. Now this tree is made from Superior Fishing Products, superiorfishingproducts.com. Great rod trees, and I'm a big fan of the rod trees because if you use more of a conventional rod holder that you use for walleyes, what you have is, like a ramrod holder or a Scotty, like your rod butts sit into the boat. We got a fish on. We got a fish on. These fish can't even let me talk. This is incredible. So what I was saying is the rod holders stick into the boat, so then when you're moving along the side of your boat, you're hitting that with your knee. The rod trees from Superior Fishing Products, you put your rod in there like that, and everything's right here at the side of the boat going out. It really makes your boat feel a lot bigger. So a great product that I highly recommend. And Mark, the owner of Superior Fishing Products, can make these in pretty much any, shapes or dimensions. So this one has 4 rod holders that are angled and a 5th one that sticks straight up and down. These also you can come in 1, 2, 3, 5, like he can do whatever you want to do. Totally customizable, but a great, solution to trolling and to, help get your rods outside of the boat and, make your boat feel that much bigger. This is 4 colors of lead, and, so that's going to get your spoon down there anywhere from, 25 to 30 feet in, 70 feet of water. So the water is very clear here. Your trout will rise to hit a bait. I'll have Tim and grab our board here. All right, so we took off that planer board. So again, lead core line is very, very effective at getting a spoon down in the water column. You know, yes, downriggers are good. Yes, you know, dipsy divers, everything works. I love lead. I prefer lead. It's just the easiest to use. You can, you know, just get away with using lighter weight gear with a lead core line versus like a dipsy diver, which is why I like it, because, you know, catching even a 4 or 5 pound fish on this 8'6" Icon trolling rod is a blast. There we go. Thanks for the nut job, buddy.
No problem.
That's not bad. That's our first rod we were just letting out, so that's a good sign. All right, not a giant, but a very pretty fish. Look at the designs. Yeah, isn't that cool? Look at the designs on that fish, man. That is what's so special about Lake Superior Lake Trout out here is, you know, no two fish look the same. You never know what you can catch, and they're all special. They all put up a good fight and, you know, let you enjoy the day out here. So again, that was a silver spoon with the bright orange. You can never go wrong there. And a gorgeous Lake Superior Lake Trout. Awesome, I love it. That's a very unique fish with very cool color patterns. I can't wait to see what the rest of the day has in store for us when we get more than one line in the water. Beautiful. Okay, now we got a couple planer boards out. Now we're gonna put down our downrigger rod. And again, as I was mentioning, this is that 7'6" Icon, a little bit more whippy versus those 8'6", which I like on a downrigger, because on a downrigger there's really not much pressure on a rod. You could put a lightweight spinning rod in that downrigger, I mean in the rod holder, I mean it would be just fine. So I like to get away with the lighter weight rod. We have 20-pound braid backing down to like a 40-foot mono leader, again, and then down to a fluorocarbon leader. So, and now we just put this about, I like to do it about 40 feet behind the boat. So what I do is I just let out all my mono, and then I clip my release onto this braided backing. Now these are those Scotty releases. Now I've had really good luck with these, and I just bury that braided line in there. Now, you know, and I've used these enough and I've caught enough fish with them that I know if this releases, it's gonna be a fish over 15 pounds. Like, it's gonna be a big fish. A lot of times it doesn't release. So you go down there, you grab the, you know, the downrigger, the rod in the rod holder, and kind of set the hook, not on the fish, but just to release this line out of the clip if it's a smaller fish. You know, I don't really like it releasing all the time, just because if you're in waves, you get false trips, or, you know, if a fish does hit it, you know, and you're not paying attention, it has, you know, a couple seconds of slack line there. So that's kind of how we do those, and we're just going to send this down. So this is a 12-pound weight. I prefer 12s. They stay a little bit more vertical versus like an 8-pounder. And yes, we still use the manual cannons just because they always work. You know, no matter what, you got electrical issues or whatever your fuse is, manuals are always going to work. So that's why we run the manuals. But yeah, this is just kind of a downrigger setup. We're going to put this down about 30, you know, 20, 30 feet off bottom, and it hopes to entice a lake trout.
Well, we barely got our lines back down again. It's not too little bad. A little guy. We can't even keep our lines in the water right now. Can't even get them all out. Just keep catching them.
All right, Timon's got his fish. I got one on here. Doubled up, buddy.
We can't even keep our lines in the water.
You got a pretty one there,
man. Look at the colors on this thing.
You got a pretty one
oh
there,
my goodness.
Huh? Isn't that gorgeous?
Look at that. Look at the back.
All right, what's this one look like? Right there. Not a bad trout. It's madness. It's madness, man. These fish are eating well. It's there's a lot of fish down there. Let's get that one back there. Ice cold, but this is what you know, those first couple warm days of spring brings. It just livens up this lake. We get some bugs out here. You know, the trout just their metabolism you know, just goes and goes and goes, and fishing can get very, very excellent. So again, a lot of this is all about timing, but I think we've timed it right today. All right, so we put that, as we showed you, we put that downrigger. We're running it a little bit more shallow, and we have that spoon a mere 5 feet behind the downrigger ball. And that's because we want to watch it on our Garmin Livescope. So this is the pole for the Livescope, this is a transducer, and this is a Trax-Tech mount that we slide this into. So we're just going to put it in here like this. Just like that. So now it's kind of looking back at that downrigger ball. So now we have kind of our portable case that we set up. We have a battery hooked up in there. We close that. Let's turn this on and boot this up. Now again, what Livescope is real-time sonar. Like, you can see the fins of fish moving. I can see in front of the boat, I can see behind the boat, I can see the downrigger ball, I can see the spoon, I can see fish swim up to it. So it's pretty dang cool what you can see on this. And you know, it's really an educational piece. It's super fun to watch, see how the fish interact with your bait. Here's our downrigger ball right here. We can see the release clip, and then there's our spoon right behind it. So now we're gonna watch lake trout come up to it. But again, this is just kind of our setup. So we have our Garmin monitor here, kind of a portable box that Timon, who's with us today, kind of mapped out and kind of made. It's a very cool and sleek system with the Trax-Tech, so I could bring this up to the front of the boat. I can take it, you know, wherever. And then we have our Trax-Tech kind of C-mount here that mounts onto our Trax-Tech tracks that holds the Trax-Tech pole. So I've not had any issues with, you know, the Trax-Tech mounts. We got a lot of questions on those. You know, the rock solid product. I, you know, haven't had, you know, zero issues, zero complaints. Performs as I expect. So we're super happy with it. Let's watch some lake trout. Here comes one up. Holy cow, did he shoot up. Fish, this is incredible. Wait till you see what we have on here. That was fun. Watch that fish. He just darted up off bottom, and he was a little bit hesitant. But after our last fish, I put on the Versatroll from Moment One, and that's that device where you can jig that spoon. That fish darted up and he didn't eat it. I gave that rod a few pumps and moved that spoon faster, and he committed, and I saw it all on the Livescope. So that's a true testament to how the Versatroll from Moment One can work for you. Look at that. That fish. So I got you can see the Versatroll device there. That's what allows that line to move freely, and I can totally control the length of the spoon behind the ball, control that speed. This device is ideal for shallow water trolling like we're doing here. Let's take a look at this fish. Look at that fish, man. That fish has character. Look at the colors on her. That image is going to be burned in my head of watching the Livescope and seeing this fish just shoot up at it and just crack it after I was sitting there and doing some jigging with the Versatroll. Let's get this fish back real quick, and I'll show you kind of what we have here. So this is the Versatroll. So I just simply slip my line through here, and I attach this to the downrigger ball. Okay, so that acts as my release, and my line coming off my rod can move freely through here, and I can jig that spoon. And that fish darted up, and he didn't eat it right away. So I saw that, I was watching it, so I sit there and I give it a couple jigs, and he ate. So that is super cool. A very awesome, you know, device there. Just something new, something, you know, that you can just try that's different to give that spoon on a downrigger more action and entice a bite. You know, it's a multi-species tool that works good for walleyes, trout, salmon, browns, like whatever, you know. Today we're fishing shallow lake trout, and that's money. fish on your board and fishing this downrigger?
Oh yeah.
We didn't even get to set your
We didn't even get it out yet.
planer board. That's a true double right there, man. I saw him on the Livescope too. That is so cool. So cool. Yeah, let me grab your board for
Yeah.
you.
Give me a quick board assist, please.
Little double action. There we go. It's one nice feature about these gator boards is that it's super quick and easy to take them off a line. You know, sometimes some clips, that line just gets stuck in there and, you know, through that back pin, and it's just, you know, awful. But the clips on the gator boards, I've never had an issue with them. It's just super easy and quick to take them off your line. How's your feel, bud?
Feels pretty nice.
That's good. That's good. There's my leader. We must be getting pretty close here. This is incredible. I can't ask for your net job, so I'm gonna grab the net and net it myself. And a bad fish, man. That's pretty. Whoa.
Wow.
Look at that thing. The colors on that fish.
Oh wow.
How cool is that, man?
I got one more color, I think. The Downriggers and lead core, it doesn't matter which one we have them on. These fish are just crushing our baits. Oh wow.
There's your leader, buddy.
Here we go, it's getting close.
We're gonna see her pretty quick.
Here's the nicer fish.
You should see how pretty these fish
Oh
are.
wow.
I mean, just as gorgeous can be.
Look at those.
Wow, let's bring them into the boat and take a look. Look at these. Man, that's what I love about Lake Superior is it just produces some of the most beautiful lake trout that I've ever seen. Look at that. Look at that. Just those fins, the colors. This lake trout is just pristine. Not a mark on it. Fish. Oh, fish on. Attaboy. Attaboy. Oh, that rigger just got hit too.
Oh, double again?
Isn't that crazy? Oh man, we got another fish on.
Oh, there's another one.
I think you could call that a triple. Who knows? But what? This is magic.
Yeah, fantastic.
I mean, shallow water. I just love the part that there's no mortality to these fish. The water's still pretty cold, you know, and every fish is going back strong. We're able to catch and release these fish ethically and safely. Let's get this one back.
Yeah.
And pitch this one.
Let's do it.